Hey, good morning from South Jersey. It is the 2nd of March, Sunday morning, and I just want to touch base with you to share some insight that I think I have to provide and share the shame that we're all probably feeling at what occurred in the Oval Office the other day. It's ironic that only 2 days ago, my last video was terrorism in America, right? Saying how we've all been terrorized by this administration. And what occurred in the Oval Office yesterday was not only terrorism, but treason. You know, terrorism, by definition, is the use of violence or intimidation against the civilian population for political gain, right? Well, President Zelensky was not visiting us in the capacity as, a military man. He was meeting us in his capacity as the head of his country, as a guest, and he was treated with disdain. It was shameful the way he was treated. He was bullied, he was pressured, he was browbeaten. All the things that go into intimidation, the synonyms that I offered the other day to show how we have been victims of terrorism. Zelensky was victims of terrorism the other day, and it was shameful. And I'm just a guy from South Jersey, and I want to just apologize to President Zelensky and the people of Ukraine. It was shameful, and you did not deserve that. You're a good man, President Zelensky, multilingual, and you were holding a conversation in English in the Oval Office with a bunch of morons. They can't even speak English themselves. And then that guy, Brian Glenn, Marjorie Taylor Greene's boyfriend, spouting off about his attire and did he have a suit. I had to redo this video because of my comment regarding that. And all I want to say to him is, I would love to meet you someday and have coffee and have a healthy discussion and hug things out. Brian Glenn, please, you and Tom Horman and Steve Bannon, you three, I think we should all get together and have a really healthy discussion on how to work things out and just have a good meeting. All right, the three of us. Let's just sit and talk, okay? I think it's really important for you guys to get the proper direction. And I think you guys are really misled and you need a wake-up call, honestly. What did you do, Brian Glenn? Who did you think you were to open up your mouth? Your girlfriend is a reptilian. She's very difficult to look at. She's even more difficult to listen to. And you don't seem like the brightest star in the sky, the sharpest tool in the shed. I mean, you should just keep your mouth shut, honestly. But I want to piggyback again from what we talked about the other day. I spoke about terrorism in America, how we're all victims of terrorism at the hands of this administration, Donald Trump and his cronies. I still feel that way, of course, more now than ever. What are the synonyms to intimidation? Which intimidation is to what? Make timid, to frighten, to threaten to the point where people either act or to prevent them from acting, okay? To deter them from acting, from taking action because they're so frozen with the threats, they're overwhelmed. And here are the synonyms that go along with intimidation, which is terrorism. When something is frightening, menacing, terrifying, scaring, alarming, terrorizing, cowering, subduing, daunting, unnerving, threatening, domineering, browbeating, bullying, and pressuring. Now, if you don't think that President Zelensky from Ukraine was being pressured, bullied, browbeaten, domineered, or threatened, I don't know what tape you were looking at, but those are 5 words from intimidation that he suffered in the Oval Office at the hands of our president and vice president and some mouthy, inept moron who dates a very homely, nasty woman named Marjorie Taylor Greene. He should keep his mouth shut. Someone should shut it for him, honestly. And a healthy discussion should be had beforehand, and then a dance should follow and resolutions made. Go away, keep your mouth shut, crawl back under your rock. That's what they should be told. Anyway, I want to do the flip side of terrorism in America. We're all victims of terrorism. President Zelensky was the victim of terrorism in our own Oval Office. Who benefits from this terrorism besides Russia and dictator Putin over there in Russia, who have Donald Trump by the, they have him right there. Who benefits in this country from that type of terrorism? Well, the big donors, the billionaire group, the people that receive the breaks from this past budget that was passed by the Republicans. 800 billionaires in the United States of America. Where do they come from? Well, they mostly come from banking, oil, drugs, and food manufacturing, the grocery store chains, and the people that manufacture the foods that are sold in the grocery stores. Banking, Chase Manhattan, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. Google the top 10 banks and Google their CEOs and what their salaries are. They're killing us with interest rates. The poor and the middle class will never get out from under debt by borrowing from the banks. And yet the banks' CEOs make an exorbitant, outrageous amount of money. Google it. The oil industry, Chevron, Exxon, Texaco, the CEOs of those companies, they make huge amounts of money. The drug manufacturers, Pfizer, Merck, Glaxo, they make a crazy amount of money. Hundreds of millions of dollars they make. And then you got the food manufacturers, Nabisco, Kellogg's, all the food manufacturers and all the crap they put into our foods, they make money off of tax breaks in two ways. Not only do they receive huge tax breaks that we have to step up and pay, the middle class, because they're not paying their fair portion of the taxes. They're getting tax breaks. They're getting breaks financially because Donald Trump has removed all the checks and balances associated with each one of those industries. There's no more inspectors, or there's many, many less of them. So you have less inspection, less oversight, less quality assurance in each one of these industries. In banking, you need someone to go in and review the books. Are things being done correctly? Are audits being made? Are they auditing it? Or is the distribution going into the proper channels? Is anybody skimming? You have inspectors for that, financial inspectors. They're gone. Oil, you have people out there inspecting where they're drilling, where they're fracking, where they're digging. Is it runoff? Are we going to contaminate water sources? Are we polluting the air more than is necessary? No. So these people are making money off providing their products and services without any oversight. So there's less cost to them. Therefore, there's more money in their pocket. So they're getting tax breaks on one end and breaks for quality on the other. They're making money hand over fist. The drug companies, who's overseeing the manufacturing of the drugs? What does it do? Is it effective? Are there side effects? Well, let's sign off on it. Just go for it. Just give it to the American public. Let them suffer the ramifications. Food manufacturing in our country, the worst in the world. We put more crap in our food than any other country. Why should they put healthy ingredients in our food? Less preservatives. Why? Because the drug manufacturers make money off of our sickness. We don't have free healthcare in this country. So the people that manufacture our food have no incentive to do right by us and provide healthy, nutritious, safe food. All the dyes they're putting in the food, making kids hyper, making parents and adults anxious. So you got to turn to your doctor and say, I feel anxious, I feel depressed, I feel angry, I feel hyper, and they'll give you a medication for it. They make money hand over fist over us. All we are is sheep to them. So on one end, you've got Donald Trump using terrorism against the American public to muffle us, to subdue us, to frighten us into acting or deter us from acting. and keeping us at bay. And then you got that same terrorism benefiting the top people that make the money in this country, the banking, oil, drug, food manufacturers. Then on beyond that, you've got all the people mining aluminum, iron, steel, manufacturing those things to make what? Automobiles. And our automobiles in this country are the worst in the world. They're the most unsafe. They're the least efficient. Other countries are way, way ahead of us. So I just want to finish off with that President Zelensky was the victim of terrorism in our own Oval Office at the hands of our president and vice president and a mouthy guy named Brian Glenn, who goes out with a very homely, very unattractive reptilian named Marjorie Taylor Greene. And he should have kept his mouth shut. So to that, I just want to end it with this. Brian Glenn, I don't know your age. I just know that I don't like you. I'm 61 years old. I'd like to really have a healthy discussion and hug things out. Do a little dance, do a little walk, do some talking, and let's clear this matter up. Brian Glenn, Steve Bannon, and Tom Horman, you three, let's have a chat before summer. All right? And you guys really need an attitude adjustment. You need to be redirected and soon. But I don't think that's going to happen. Because I think Donald Trump is going to be arrested for what? Treason. Treason. The betrayal of one's country by attempting to overthrow the government or aid its enemies. Betrayal. The loss of trust and confidence. To ask yourself, do you really have trust and confidence in Donald Trump? The most inept, unengaged, distrustful, stupid person ever to hold office anywhere? No, you don't have trust or confidence in him. Come on. He is aiding our enemies. That's treason. He's attacking our government. That's treason. Enough said. 12 minutes, 22 seconds in. I hope everybody has a nice Sunday with all this heavy stuff, right? But it is what it is. Donald Trump terrorized the Ukrainian president the other day in the Oval Office. That was terrorism because of the intimidation factor. And he is guilty of treason. He's aiding our enemies and attacking our government. That's it. I hope everybody has a nice Sunday. I will talk to you on Monday. I hope you have a good day, and peace out from South Jersey.